Hey, what's happening? It's Brian Dawson. Hey, what's happening? It's Brian Dawson, and welcome to Triangle Empowered. Triangle Empowered, where knowledge is power. This week and for the entire month of January, we will be focused on human trafficking. January is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And for those of you who do not know, North Carolina has consistently ranked among the top 10 states in the country for human trafficking. Today, I have Kendra Underwood, Human Trafficking Youth Outreach Coordinator, with me. Kendra, how are you today?
I am doing great, Brian. How are you?
I am fine. And anybody who know me know how I love the youth. They're so important. So I'm excited to talk to you. So hopefully we can help somebody out today.
Absolutely.
First question is the obvious question. How are youth more susceptible to human trafficking?
Definitely. That's a great question, Brian. But I think the most important thing is to remember, as youth are learning remote online, they're spending a lot more time online. So that means it's potential to be able to talk to traffickers and interact with strangers. They just have that opportunity now to potentially interact with traffickers. And then also downloading softwares that may be harmful, with so many different games, because we know kids prior to COVID was spending a lot of time online. But again, now that everything is virtual, with virtual learning and everything, they're spending even more time online. So they're downloading different games and different apps that can potentially have the harm of, harming that computer or hacking, that Wi-Fi or that software system.
Never ending subject. All right, Kendra, what tips can you give parents to help monitor their child's electronic usage? And how can we protect our children?
Yeah, I would definitely say the first thing is to make sure that when it's bedtime, it's bedtime. So leaving electronics downstairs or leaving it in the kitchen, just out of the sight of the student or that child. And then also just setting up password protections. I don't know if you know, but Facebook now has a kids-friendly messenger app where parents can, set up their children, and they have to go through this extensive process of, completing the application or whatever. So that way, they can talk to other children via Facebook. And then also just allowing the usage of electronics in open view. So they're not using the electronics or those devices in the bathroom or in their rooms, they're in open view. And then lastly, I would say downloading the BART app, which is the app that specifically help monitor online usage and sends alerts to parents that, if they suspect something, harmful to their child. And North Carolinian parents also have the advantage of using this app for free, using the code Here Together for at least 2 months.
Such a touchy subject, Kendra. So what do you say to the parents who don't want to be considered like that lurker in terms of giving their kids a little more freedom and room? What advice do you give them in terms of, where's that line at in over monitoring them and watching them carefully?
I definitely say just make sure you have open conversations and communication with your child. Of course, like you said, you don't want to be that lurker. You don't want to be that parent, but you also want to make sure that your child is not naive and that, there are people out here with ill intentions. So like I said, just making sure that you have that open conversation and letting your child or your student know that you can talk to them and that, everything should be open and that, they can trust you.
Yes. How are children and teens more vulnerable to trafficking, Kendra?
Well, I would definitely say the students or children with little to no support system. Parents are working. So that means that traffickers are paying attention to the hours that parents are not, at home. Constantly unsupervised children, or also targeting, poverty-stricken areas. So it may be, you're in the mall and it may be a student or a child that's following behind the group that's looking down, that lacks self-confidence or self-esteem, but may not have the flashiest J's or the flyest, AirPods or Apple Watch or whatever. And that way traffickers are noticing that and trying to make an offer. If that child or student, partakes in that lifestyle, this is what I can offer. This is what I can give to you, because you don't have these flashy things or, things that you want or desire.
My last question for you, and it's kind of long. But I've heard a lot of young people say they are meeting people online through dating apps, or they like to buy things like electronics off Craigslist. Wow. Or any other marketplace. Given what you have told me about trafficking, I'm thinking this may be risky. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. If you are purchasing, because that's just, the world that we're living in now. It's just more convenient to do things online versus having to go. Even prior to COVID, it was just easier to shop online, to, just do different things. But I would definitely say just to remember to meet in a public place. And even in some communities, you can meet at the police department at certain times, for exchanges and different things. But to also, on that same day, let someone know, tell a trusted friend, or also maybe even bring a family member with you. And then for online dating specifically, tips would be, if you were able to meet someone online, maybe prior to meeting that person in person, maybe setting up, video chats, and maybe really just intentionally getting to know them prior to meeting them in person. And then also just remember, if you do meet them in person because of COVID, keep 6 feet, make sure that you're wearing your mask. And then again, make sure that you're meeting in a public place and not in, hotels or at homes.
And most importantly, Kendra, if you suspect that maybe your child or a friend's child is involved in this in any manner, what should you do?
Definitely visit our website. You can find several resources there at nccounselforwomen.nc.gov. And you can also call the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and that number is 1-888-373-7888. Or you can text Be Free to 233-733. But if you visit our website, we have different and various resources in various languages that you can, get some information from.
Kendra, thank you so much for sharing this very important information. Hopefully we helped somebody out there today.
I hope so as well. Thank you so much, Brian.
No doubt. I am Brian Dawson. Thanks for joining us on Triangle Empowered, where knowledge is power.